Hey everyone, it's Naomi, and today I have something special to talk about because my birthday is coming up. And I am not I'm not one of those people that gets like all rah-rah super excited about birthdays. But I think that aging is a process worth celebrating. I think getting older is a really powerful thing. I think it's something that not everybody honestly gets a chance to do. And so the fact that, we continue to age, that, we continue to grow older is a huge privilege. But I hear a lot about the idea of anti-aging. Okay, anti-aging. Like aging is a bad thing, right? Like growing older is some sort of terrible thing that you have to push back against until you have no choice but to succumb. And I think that's a little bit ridiculous, And so I, not only think that anti-aging is a myth, but it's a really damaging myth. I think that it's something that is used as propaganda, particularly against women, to keep us in a place where we are always second guessing ourselves and always trying to make ourselves better according to somebody else's version of better. So what I decided to do in honor of my birthday this year is to really think about, how I want to age. If I look back to when I was, 10 years old, for example, I had no idea what it would be like to even be 15, not to mention 20, and when I was, 18 and 20, I had no concept of what it would be like to be turning 38, which is how old I'm going to be this year in 2019. And I'm really proud of that, actually. Not proud of the fact that when I was 10 and 18, I had no idea what it'd be like to be 38. I think most of us don't. I think, I don't know what it's going to be like to be 48 or 58 or 68 or 78. But what I know is that I want to feel like me, and I want to feel really good in my body, and I want to be as healthy and as strong and as vibrant, and as, in love with my life as I can be for as long as I'm alive. So I've come up with 7 ways to celebrate aging and the process of aging with grace and with intention. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, number one for me is to move daily. Okay, so moving daily simply means to move my body in any way that feels really good every single day. Okay, so that means different things for me every single day. So, it might be doing a little bit of yoga, which I do every day. It might be doing a little bit more of a dynamic practice. It might be just going for a walk, by the ocean, or, going for a hike through the woods, or running around outside with my kids. But I want to move my body every day. I want to have a dance party in my kitchen as often as possible. And I think that that's going to make the aging process for me much more enjoyable. That's number 2. Number 2 is to incorporate quiet into my everyday. So daily quiet time. Okay, now daily quiet time can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. I could just as easily say meditation, but the truth is that daily quiet time might be reading for, 15 to 20 minutes every day, or just sitting in silence. It doesn't have to be meditation, like with my eyes closed, and turning inside and having like a really, deep and sort of, introspective moment. It might just be sitting in silence. So that's number 2 for me. Okay, number 3 is to live with less. Okay, to live with less. And part of it is just the older I get, the more I realize how little I actually need, and how much stuff we accumulate, and how so much of that stuff is actually not only really unnecessary, but kind of wasteful. Now, there are absolutely things that I do need. I'm not saying, live without the basic necessities. It's more just, conscious consumption, thinking about what I'm taking into my house and into my space, and, being much more aware of it and much more discerning as best I can, particularly given that, I have 2 kids, and we'll have another one in August or September, and, we're just going to have a lot of stuff, but how can I make the stuff that we take in meaningful, use it really skillfully, and then find ways to reuse it or, offer it to somebody else when we're done as best I can. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is be online less, outside more. Okay, now this one is a little bit tricky because the truth is that I actually love to be online. Okay, now when I say I love to be online connecting with people, right? I love to be online, building community in ways that sometimes is kind of hard offline, particularly as, somebody who's in a military family who's been moving around a lot for the past couple of years. Sometimes establishing new friends in new places can be incredibly difficult. And so, I love my online communities, but sometimes it's not that. Sometimes, being online is just that endless scroll through social media, or, like the endless reading of one thing to the next thing to the next thing, right? Like, it's not always productive, it's not always beneficial, and more often than not, it gets in the way of me being outside or doing things that I love, like moving my body or having that quiet time. Because the truth is that being online is not quiet time. It is super active for my brain, right? Like, it fills me up, So my objective is to be much more conscious about the time that I spend online and to be much more choosy about it, and to, really get outside more, as much as possible, because I love being outside, which is why I'm out here on my back porch. Even though it's a little bit windy and a little bit cold, it just feels good to be out here. So that's number 4. Number 4. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is sunscreen every day. Sunscreen every day. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, I'm a huge fan of vitamin D. Vitamin D is really important. Most of us don't get enough of it. So we do need to be out in the sun, and we do need a little bit more sun exposure for our skin. But there is also such a thing as too much sun exposure, and that can lead to sunburn and, sun poisoning and skin cancer, at the worst end of the spectrum. And as somebody who has skin cancer that runs in the family, I'd rather avoid it, and as somebody who lives, in a place with a lot of sun and a lot of exposure, I really need to be more vigilant about that. So sunscreen every day, so I can age skillfully and gracefully and consciously. Okay, that's number 5. Okay, number 6 is in some ways to me the most essential, and it's to listen to and love my body. I'm going to say it again because it's so important to me. Listen to and love my body. I spent a super long time, a really long time in my life, disrespecting my body and disconnected from my body and, just disgusted with my body even, just not happy. And God, what a waste of time that was, and a waste of energy. Like, I would so much rather celebrate my body, enjoy my body, be proud of my body, live in my body, than hate it. And I don't want to move forward in my life with any of that. I don't want to move forward in my life with any disrespect or any lack of care for my body, because this is my home, right? This is the place that I live, and it's the only one I got. So listen to when my body asks for things, and love on it, give it the things that it needs. So that's number 6, and probably the most important to me. And number 7, absolute last, number 7, rest more. Which is super hard for me. But it's a lesson that I've been learning, particularly through motherhood, to rest more, to take better care of my body by giving it the rest that it needs. And it could be, this definitely, this 3rd pregnancy, but I know that I did it in the 2nd also, right? Like, when my body needed to rest, I rested, and I gave it rest. And this time around, even more so, I've been building rest into every day. And the truth is, I am somebody who's incredibly type A and incredibly driven, and I'm constantly going and doing. I don't stop. And that takes a toll on my body. It really does. And it's like all those people that say, you can rest when you're dead or you can sleep when you're dead. That shit's morbid, right? And even more than that, it's not necessarily helpful. In order to really live this life in the way that I want to live fully. And in order to live fully, I need rest. Okay? So I'm going to get more rest, even if that means taking a nap during the day, even if it means going to bed earlier. Great. You know, more rest so that I can enjoy the days of my life more fully. That's number 7. Okay, so I'm going to go through them all 7 one more time. Okay, number 1 is daily movement. Number 2, daily quiet time. Number 3 is to live with less. Number 4 is to be online less, offline and outside more. Number 5, okay, is sunscreen every day. Number 6, number 6 is listen to and love on my body. And number 7 is to rest more. So those are my 7 ways to celebrate aging and the process of aging with grace and with integrity and with intention. It is my gift to myself this year. And I plan on taking the best care of myself possible this year and every year that follows. If you want to learn really simple ways to take better care of yourself based on your own unique needs, you should take my self-care style quiz. It's totally free, and it will tell you exactly what your tendencies are and some of the simplest ways that you can take care of yourself on a daily basis. I'll have the link in the description below. You can take it and let me know in the comments ways that you want to take better care of yourself in this year and in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, 20, 30, however many years you want, so that you can age with grace and with skill, with integrity, with compassion, with love, with all that good stuff. All right, so thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this episode on the anti-aging myth, and I look forward to seeing you back here again really soon. All right, until then, bye.